Thank you for joining me on yet another video. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the disaster in the drawing room at the fireplace. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about myself because a lot of people have been asking, in fact, a lot of people have been telling me that I'm not Irish. So I'm going to tell you. And then you're going to come with me. Scooter has requested, where is Scooter? Oh, he must be in the kitchen. I know why he's in the kitchen. Scooter has requested for me to make a Persian love cake for his darling Peggy. So we will go and we will make a Persian love cake for his darling Peggy. So you can come and join me in a little while for that in the kitchen. Oh, I nearly forgot. Milk in first. Okay, I'm going to pour a delicious cup of tea. Chris bought me back a beautiful gift from London, which is a packet of Fortnum and Mason cookies, which are Easter simnel cake flavour, which I'm so looking forward to. Okay. Nice cup of tea. You can join me for a cup of tea, dear, but it will be later after you finish filming. So let's try the tea. Now let's open these biscuits. They are already open. Mr. Michael, did you open them already?
Yes.
I hope you didn't take any out of them. They were a gift for me, remember. I will share one with you, but a little bit later. So, oh, these look divine. They smell really good too. Notice how I've just put 2 on the plate. That's 2 for me.
Remember, dear, I told you to be super quick because people have got no patience on YouTube anymore.
My name is Nikolai. I was born in Dublin of Irish parents who too were born in Dublin. My mother's name is Margaret and my father's name was Dominic. I have 6 siblings, one of whom passed away. He had, 5 years ago, he had esophageal cancer, and so it got him. He was only 48 when he died, which was very sad, because I only had one brother. So I have 5 sisters, and they are, Raquel is my older sister, Anita is my second oldest sister, Carl was my brother, who was older than me, then there's Nikolai, then there's Sabrina, then I have a sister, Natalie, who Natalie has an intellectual disability. And there is Natasha. So, my parents moved from Dublin. I was born in Dublin. And when I was 1 year old, they moved from Dublin to Sligo because my father worked for a firm in Dublin who wanted to open a store here in Sligo. And so they asked him to move and manage the store in Sligo, which he did. Unbeknown to my mother, he came. Without her first, initially, he bought a piece of land in a place called Drumcliff in County Sligo, Yeats Country, where W.B. Yeats, the famous poet, is buried. And he built a house there for us. My mother arrived down to Sligo and then saw the house and thought, oh my God, is this where we're living? Anyhow, it was really nice. So we lived there. And then as we got older, we wanted to go out, and it was about 7 or 8 miles out of Sligo town, and my mother felt like she was just a taxi service, constantly bringing us in and out the road, collecting us. So she decided that she wanted to move closer to the town so that we could walk. Lovely mother she was. Is. She's still here. My father passed away. So where did I get the name Nikolai from? Well, where did Raquel come from? We all have unusual names. None of us have an Irish name. And the reason I got my name was because my mother loved a film called War and Peace, which was written by a chap called Nikolai Tolstoy. That is where the name Nikolai came from. And Nikolai also, in the film War and Peace and the book War and Peace, had a sister Natasha. So I also have a sister Natasha. So that's where the name comes from. I did live for a period in London when I went to get educated. But yes, I am originally from Sligo, and I've arrived back to Sligo here now.
And we're going to get on with making the cake.
And now we're going to go, and that's Chris telling me shut up, basically. We're all going to get on with, but
we can talk about depression and anxiety.
I don't want to talk about depression and anxiety. I'm not depressed and I'm not anxious. You make me anxious, Chris, when you start footering me about. telling me to hurry up and get on with it. Okay, so that's where my name comes from, and the Spanish Armada did sink very close to where my family home was, so I often wonder if my mother's not quite telling the truth. However, that story is for another day. That will go down in the history books. So folks, that's it. That's all about me. Let's go and make that beautiful Persian love cake. And look what's happened. I've had a disaster. Both fireplaces, not just this one, but both fireplaces in the drawing room and the dining room have decided, in their wisdom, to come away from the wall.
200 years later.
200 years later, like, could you credit it? In my watch of this beautiful manor house, me being the custodian, it decides now to do it. Okay, anyway, all is not lost. We have saved the fireplace because it was ready to collapse. Had it have collapsed, it would have smashed into probably a lot of pieces, and therefore would be a much, 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 much bigger restoration job than it currently stands. I have a lovely gentleman coming hopefully next week, because he arrived yesterday to see. He said that is about to come away from the wall. Urgent, we need to remove everything off it, and we need to take the top and put it sitting on the floor, which is what's happened. So, watch this space. Shall I run away now? And now for that delicious Persian love cake. So Scooter's asked me to make it for his beloved Peggy. Make this cake for either the person you love or someone that doesn't love you and you don't love back. Just make cake and let them eat cake, I say. So, this is a very, very simple but stunning cake. Beautiful fragranced cake, a really, really dense, lemony flavoured, all kinds of flavoured cake, but really, really delicious. Now, let me run through with you what you need. You will need your baking tin. Any baking tin you wish. I'm currently going to use the bundt pan. Okay? I find for slicing and for portion control and all the rest of it, I find the bundt pan a huge success. I also like the fact that it's got the hole in the middle because, believe it or not, which I know seldom if ever, you would believe that often when Nikolai makes cakes in a normal baking tin, very often the centre is never quite cooked. And it doesn't seem to matter how long you leave it in the oven. It just, or then you think it's perfectly cooked and it comes out and then all of a sudden it just dips in the middle. If you're one of those people like me, then you need to invest in one of these. All I've done with this is I've oiled it and I've put some flour and I've brushed it all together. So it's almost like a little paste and you brush it all the way around the tin, paying attention to the circular bit in the middle. You need a sieve. You need a mixing bowl. Excuse me. Spatula. And you need your electric whisk. That's all you need for the cooking. So let me run through with you the ingredients, if I can get my phone to come on. Okay, so the ingredients are 150 grams of unsalted butter. Okay, softened unsalted butter. 175 grams of castor sugar. Now, let me give you a little tip that I learned many years ago, and I still do it to this day. If you're using a zest of any fruit for your cake, be it orange zest, lemon zest, zest your fruit and add it to your sugar and leave it in your sugar for a little while, and you'll find that the sugar absorbs the flavour of the lemon much better than if you just add the lemon zest or orange zest into the cake mixture. So there's a little tip for you. I'm not going to charge you for that one. Then, into the sugar, I have put the zest of 1 lemon. I have also got the juice of 1 lemon here in this little pot. 3 medium eggs. We have rose water, which you can pick up in many, many stores now. It wasn't available readily once upon a time, but now you can find it anywhere. If you don't like the idea of rose water, please omit it. It doesn't change the flavour of the cake at all, that much. We have 125 grams of plain flour, to which I have added a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And I have also added 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda or bread soda. They're all in that bowl and they will all get sieved together into this mix later. Then I have in this bowl, I have 100 grams of ground almonds. And in this bowl, I have 4 tablespoons of natural Greek yogurt. Okay, That's the ingredients for the cake, for this Persian love cake. Then, for the icing on the top and for the decoration on the top, I have got 175 grams of powdered sugar or icing sugar, which I will sieve later. I'm going to have 2 to 3 tablespoons of lemon juice to dilute down the icing sugar. It will depend how much of that I'm using, but I reckon probably half a lemon. And a little bit of rose water, maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of rose water. Sorry, a few drops of rose water. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. So my 2 to 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Okay. Now, also, for on the top of the cake, we're going to use pistachios, crushed pistachios, okay? Now, I've got some pistachios, unsalted pistachios, which I've got here on a dry frying pan on the aga, toasting away to bring back the nuttiness. Because sometimes when they're vacuum packed in those packets, they lose they just absorb moisture and they take on a different flavour. So I like to dry them out and pop them on the pan for a few. Nice cup of tea. Okay. This little boy belonged to Chris's mum. It was her pestle and mortar, and I still have it, and I treasure it. And what you will need to do is, sorry Scooter, close your ears. You'll need to put your pistachio nuts, when they've toasted nicely on the pan, into your pestle and mortar, and you'll need to give them a good old bash. Peggy? Yeah, that should take a couple of minutes to kill her. Okay, enough of that, Nikolai. Put that to the side. We'll do that later. Now, the recipe calls for these lovely, apparently edible rose petals. Now, I don't know about you. They look beautiful, and they would look lovely on the top of the cake. However, I do not want one of these in my mouth with a piece of delicious, moist, rose-watery flavoured cake. Because I have tried one, and they're chewy, and no. And then there's no point if you're going to, and plus as well, I mean, that's a full mini rosebud. So no, we're not going to do that. But what we are going to do is we're going to use them to decorate around the bottom of the plate. They do look stunning on the top of the cake, but that is purely for the eye to see. I would not like any of you, my wonderful, beautiful viewers, to bite into a nasty piece of dry old tot on top of your delicious moist cake. So use them by all means for decoration around the plate, or if you want to pick a couple of fresh edible flowers from the garden. But please do not, oh, one's fallen into my butter. Do not put them onto the top of the cake. Or if you do, scrape it off before you eat it because you won't like it, trust me. Okay, let's get on with it. First thing we need to do is we need to cream together our butter and our sugar. So that is exactly what we will do. Oh no, see, it's a bit of dementia setting in here, folks. I don't know how long more I'm going to be able to keep you because I'm losing the plot and I'm losing the will to live every day. Okay, so our temperatures are 160 fan, 320 fan Fahrenheit for my wonderful people in America and all around the world, and gas mark 4. So let's get on with it. We're going to add our sugar, lemon zest to our butter. And we're going to cream that together until it's light and fluffy. You can really, really smell the lemon. I can't believe that I haven't told you about this little trick before. This little tip before. But yes, you can already really smell that wonderful lemon zest. Okay, so now into that we're going to add in our 3 medium eggs, 1 at a time. Remember, crack your egg into a separate bowl first so you can check that your egg is good to go. That's egg number 1. 3 is going in right now. Okay, and that's good to go as well. So there we are. I have to tell you all, Chris had a conversation with me last night and told me that one thing that really annoys him about my videoing, my vlogs, are that I keep saying so. And he has to edit so many so's from the video. So I'm going to put in 10,000 more so's just to annoy him. Because I'm in that kind of mood today. So Chris, would you like to come and take a look inside the bowl to see all 3 eggs are incorporated?
No.
And so now, the next stage is to add our flavouring, which is our rose water, 1.5 teaspoons. So, I'm going to just use my...
You just said so.
Oh yeah.
Here.
So here we go. Why am I not getting my rose water out? Chris, why is it not happening? Because I have to open this little lid. Well, I shouldn't have to. This should be all done for me. I have used this before, but yeah, I put it back to keep the flavour. Okay, so 1.5 teaspoons of rose water. So that's 1.5 rose water. So rose water or orange blossom water, whichever you fancy. Incorporate that in. In is going to go our lemon juice. We're going to sieve in our flour, bicarb, baking powder and cinnamon.
You're not concentrating on the playing, you got the wrong things.
Yes, I nearly took the icing sugar instead, the powdered sugar. Okay, now we don't need to whisk that in anymore. We're going to just fold that in because we don't want to knock out the air that we've created. Okay, you guys? And then into that is going to go the ground almonds and then finally the Greek yogurt. That is it, my friends. Into your tin, into your oven for about 45 to 50 minutes, checking that the center is cooked. In goes our ground almonds. And finally the Greek yogurt. Okay, so that's going into our tin. Now into your oven for 45 to 50 minutes. Okay, now for the icing. So we're going to pop in 2 teaspoons of rose water, and then we're going to pop in our lemon juice. Tiny little bit more lemon juice. Be very careful when adding lemon juice at this stage because you can just send it past the stage, and what will happen is it will just run off the cake onto the plate. You don't want that to happen. There we are. That is the consistency we're looking for. It's called plopping consistency or dropping consistency, whichever you prefer. Okay, the cake is out of the oven. It's had 50 minutes. I left it in the tin for 10 minutes before I turned it out. It smells so deliciously fragrant and lemony and rosewater. It's beautiful. Okay, so we'll leave that to cool completely. We'll pop it onto the plate and then we'll do our icing and our chopped pistachios on top. Put our beautifully crushed pistachios over the top. I fabulously crushed them. Now you can be really however you want to be with this. You can pipe it, you can do whatever you wish. I just like it to look very homemade, very rustic. After all, it's not the Queen exactly that's coming for tea, is it, Chris? It's only our dear Peggy. Okay, that's the icing on. And then you get your pistachios. And then you just want to create that lovely crunch on the top. Then we'll get our lovely rose petals. And we'll pop them round the edge. Just to make it look like we really made the effort for Peggy. Isn't that right, Scooter? Okay. Now for the taste test. It looks so lovely and moist. The fork just glides through it. Oh my lord.
Passionate.
More. You really, really, really must bake this cake for somebody you love. Even for somebody you don't like. Just for yourself. Delicious. The combination of that lovely, soft, moist sponge and the crunch and those lovely toasted pistachios. Absolutely to die for. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Dear Scooter, I do hope good boy. Nice. Now, Are you happy out for Peggy with that? What's the verdict?